Hey, good morning. We have a great guest with us today here at Next Home First Source. We are inviting Sabrina Swartz in with Steve Kyle's Success Mortgage Partners. They are one of our great team lenders that we use quite frequently. And today we're going to have a topic about VA loans. And Sabrina has got all the answers, we hope, to all the questions that I'm going to ask. So Sabrina, let me ask you a question about VA financing. How long does it take to close a VA loan?
Same as any standard conventional loan. We always like to say at least 30 days,
Okay,
but we've been known to make that process happen even quicker in a pinch if needed.
great, awesome. And on VA financing, how do you qualify?
So with VA, it's slightly different than your standard conventional. It's less to do with debt to income ratio and more to do with something called residual income. And the residual income just depends on the family size. So if it's one person versus two people, and then it changes from region to region, which means it allows a much higher debt to income ratio for veterans, which is amazing. So I've been able to qualify quite a few veterans over what would normally be the 45% conventional debt to income ratio. I have been known to do it close to 70% debt to income ratio because the residual income calculation worked. And it just means after all bills are paid, what money is left over. And there's a certain number depending on the family size and region. So
They actually count for daycare if there's children involved.
they do count for daycare. Yep.
Where I don't think you count for that on a conventional loan, correct?
You don't. No.
Okay, I do know that. Okay, so we qualify with our debt to income. What if we are married? I know a lot of them will come back home and come to their home state and they get married. And the veteran, the wife isn't a veteran.
Right.
She's just, a regular person. So what's the qualifying factor for her on the spouse?
So spouses can be on the loan with the veteran, even though they themselves are not veterans, as long as they're married. If they are not married, boyfriend, girlfriend, they do not qualify to be on the loan. However, if a veteran chooses not to have their spouse on the loan in the state of Texas, we do have to count for spouses' liabilities and debts. So sometimes if a spouse has less than desirable credit, a veteran will choose to be on the loan on their own, but we do still have to count spouses' liabilities. However, what's really, really cool is that if the spouse works, we can use their income to offset their liabilities. And so even though they're not on the loan, if they still work, we can still offset the liabilities they bring to the table using their income. And so we've done this in the past where we qualified a veteran who otherwise wouldn't qualify because his spouse carried a little bit too much debt. However, she worked. We were able to use her income to offset it and get them to the closing table.
Awesome. Okay, who's eligible? Veteran, how many years, active duty?
So anybody who served actively in the military is eligible. So veterans of the Marines, Navy, National Guard, and so reservists also qualify with 6 years of active reserve status, and spouses also of veterans who passed due to service-related injury. So if they died in combat or because of service-related injuries, then the spouse still qualifies for a VA loan on their own, even though they're not a veteran.
To reiterate what you were just saying, they do qualify as long as they're not currently married to somebody else, correct?
Right, exactly. So yeah.
So they can't be a widow, remarry, and use the benefits.
Exactly.
That's clarified.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I forgot to mention also that some healthcare providers are also eligible. So if they work in the prison systems, work with veterans, some of them are also still eligible doctors and nurses. So yeah.
Okay.
And that's something
great.
that most people don't know either.
For a VA loan.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. And so a veteran, when they get discharged, they have a DD 214. And then I know they need a certificate of eligibility, which states what they're approved for their financing. How do they go
Mhm.
about getting that?
So if they have their DD 214, they can just give it to their preferred lender, and their lender will be able to get a certificate of eligibility for them. If one doesn't already exist on the VA portal, then we would apply for it. And the DD 214 is really important because it gives us all of their active service dates needed to fill out the information to request a certificate of eligibility.
Okay. How many times can you get a VA loan?
So you can use your VA loan numerous times, unlimited amount of times, as long as there's entitlement. So the COE will let us know how much entitlement is allowed. And so some stories that I tell is we had a veteran who had purchased a home. As long as you're purchasing a primary. So the VA loan is really intended to help veterans purchase a primary home. You cannot use it for an investment property or a second home, and that such. So we had a veteran who, because they were still in the military, was moving around quite a bit with their job. And so they bought a primary here in Texas. They went to Georgia, had enough entitlement to purchase another one with down payment. They were coming back to Texas, still owning those two homes under VA. And they had a large enough down payment and enough entitlement that they were able to purchase their third home with a pretty significant down payment. But yeah, they were able to use it numerous times.
Okay, great.
Yep. And then entitlement can be reinstated. Sorry, I forgot to mention, if you sell your home, your entitlement gets reinstated. So if you use it towards the VA, it all gets reinstated when you sell your home. And so you can actually sell a home and purchase simultaneously, and your entitlement will be restored immediately to purchase the new home simultaneous. Yeah.
Okay. And then we've already talked about
Well, I
that.
have a question about that. Okay, so I know with the VA loan, you can reuse the loan over and over again, get a second, a third, or whatever. Let's say that someone purchases a home with their VA loan. They have decided to move, but they want to keep the older home as a rental property and move to purchase a new property. They have to transfer that the original house out of a VA loan to another type of loan, correct?
Not necessarily. If they have enough entitlement to put a down payment on the next home, they can keep that current home under VA and purchase the new one with the rest of their entitlement. If they're looking for 100% reinstatement of their entitlement, then yes, they'd have to refinance that under conventional so that they could have full entitlement to do 100% financing on their next home.
Okay. Well, what's the loan amount or the top sales price that you can purchase on a VA loan?
There isn't one if they have full entitlement. So there's no cap to how much they can loan at 100% with full entitlement. It will change if they have used some of their entitlement, like we talked about, then there might be some down payment required.
All right. And can you assume a VA loan?
Yep, absolutely. So somebody who never served in the military can purchase, or not purchase, but with credit qualifying, they can assume a VA loan, which right now is really important because in 2023, our loan limits are going up, which means it will free up some entitlement for veterans to purchase their next home VA, while the person who never served in the military is taking on their other VA loan. Yep.
And that VA loan, they don't have to be a veteran to assume it.
Nope.
They can just be anyone. And
That's
they might
right.
take on a really low interest rate when they assume. So that would be a
Absolutely.
win-win. Okay.
So on the VA loan, what kind of credit score do they need to be looking at to be able to qualify?
So VA doesn't necessarily have a minimum credit score. There's usually overlays. And then with pricing right now in the market, as far as rates, I would say anywhere from 600 to 620 would be around your minimum credit score for a VA loan.
Okay. And I know that there's a funding fee that most veterans are charged. And I know that they vary in price. One-time use, second-time use, third-time use, et cetera. And I know a lot of veterans have beliefs in the past that you could only buy one time. And once you bought and used it, you weren't being able to purchase again on a VA loan. What is the funding fee?
So it's actually a percentage on the loan amount more than anything. And so for a first time home buyer, it's a 1.4% multiplier on first time home purchase with the VA loan. Not first time home purchase, first time using your VA loan
Right, and it's on loan amount.
on loan amount. The
Okay,
second time or subsequent usage, it would be a 3.6 multiplier.
all right. And then we've discussed that. Okay, if their vet's disabled, do they waive the fee?
So if there is disability income coming in, then yes, and the COE will tell us if a veteran has disability, either income or just any disability entitlement at all. And so yes, the funding fees waived for disabled veterans or even Purple Heart recipients who may not be receiving disability yet.
Okay, and they can still qualify for financing with their disability checks.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Spouses also who use the VA loan because their veteran died in service related, funding fees waived for them as well.
Well, that's good news to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and can they purchase a duplex and live in one side, rent out the other side on a VA loan?
Yeah, so the VA loan is really intended for primary purchase. And when you purchase a duplex, even if you plan to rent out the other side, you're purchasing it as a primary. As long as you live in one of those 2 units, then yes, you can.
Okay, what if it was a triplex?
As long as you live in one of the units, then you absolutely can because it's still considered your primary residence.
Okay, good deal. And then if it was a townhouse or a condo, could they
So as long as
purchase?
Yeah, as long as the townhome and the condo are VA certified, then they can. So they just have to have VA certification on those properties, then they can.
Okay, and what does the appraiser look for when he goes out for a VA loan? As far as the condition of the property, repairs that might be needed, because I know in the past, they used to say that, they had a list of like 41 items and it was a strict checklist. And people don't want to sell to a veteran because they think there's a lot of repairs that need to be done.
Yeah, this is a really unfortunate myth that's out there because I think it's really unfair to veterans who've served our country. And a VA loan is intended to help veterans become homeowners. And why would we not want to help our veterans who serve our country become homeowners? And it's an unfair myth because it's not true. So VA appraisers aren't looking for anything more than a conventional appraiser would look for. The house has to be livable. It has to be safe. It has to be, livable for the veteran or for anybody to move into. So they're not looking for anything additional that a conventional appraiser wouldn't look for. The only thing that gets added to a VA loan is a termite inspection, but I would recommend a termite inspection to anybody because they can just wreak havoc on a home, but they are required under VA where they aren't for conventional.
That's right. And if we had dirty termites, we'd have to have a termite job done and have a clean termite certificate.
Exactly. Yep. If anything
Okay.
comes back, then we need a clean certificate for sure.
Okay. And I guess they've been out coming home now, no employment, and they have no income coming in except for their VA income. Can they purchase a house?
So if they have a job lined up, they absolutely can with an offer letter. That's pretty standard even under other loan types. They just can't close on or before their start date. So if they have a job coming up starting January 1, then we wouldn't be able to close until on or after January 1. But we can absolutely use an offer letter in lieu of actual pay stubs.
Good, because a lot of them don't have the pay stubs.
Nope.
They're just now coming home. Okay,
That's
awesome.
right.
Star, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
And that was fast.
Yeah,
Well, I appreciate your time today and thank you very much for
absolutely.
answering these questions. And how can we reach you if somebody wants to reach out to you and make application to get a VA loan?
Absolutely. So I will say helping veterans is near and dear to my heart. My husband served, his brother is currently active, and my dad actually served in the military as well. So I would love to help anybody looking for a VA loan. And you can reach me at 281-701-4521, or you can go to stevekiles.com and fill out an online application and get started that way as well.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Appreciate all your
Absolutely.
answers today, and hopefully your phone will start ringing with some business for 2023.
Absolutely.
you.
I would love to.
All right, looking forward to it.